What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NY Prepper. It is Sunday, October 8th, 2023, and I have an emergency update to share with you guys. Right now, it is 1:58 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and we currently have a major war breaking out in the Middle East. This is basically a worst case scenario. This is probably the most serious situation in the Middle East since the Yom Kippur War. We now have multiple countries getting involved in this war. We have Lebanon getting involved. We have the U.S. sending an aircraft carrier strike group towards Israel. So I want to just update you guys on the latest, and this information is coming in so fast. So, the accuracy of some of this information may not be 100%, but I'm trying my best. But for the sake of time and getting this information out to you, it's just impossible for me to double and triple check all of this information. But here we go. So right now, as of 1:58 p.m. Eastern Time, we have two U.S. nuclear war command and control planes in the air. We have Cure 47 over the Rockies, and we have Valve 43 off the coast of New Jersey in the Atlantic Ocean. These planes are responsible for launching all of our Minuteman III ICBMs from the air should ground-based launch control facilities get wiped out. Also, they can communicate with our nuclear armed submarines and also our nuclear bombers. So we have two of them airborne. They just went up in the air probably about 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago. Okay, so we have one out here in the Atlantic off the continental shelf. And then we have one over Montana right now. Okay, so the U.S. definitely has its nuclear forces on high alert because of the situation in Israel. Russia also has their nuclear forces on high alert. A lot of amateur radio forums have been talking about the Russian buzzer being extremely active the last few days. Now, the Russian buzzer is responsible for communicating nuclear attack options and nuclear launch orders in Russia. Okay, so they're similar to the nuclear war command and control plane. Similar function the Russian buzzer does, except the Russian buzzer is ground-based, okay? It's a ground-based transmitter that transmits nuclear attack options to Russian nuclear forces and also nuclear war launch orders, okay? And so what you're looking at here are all of the messages that were transmitted on the Russian buzzer. Starting 2 days ago, there were 10 messages, which is a lot in one day for the Russian buzzer. So here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm sorry, 8 messages, not 10. Okay, but still a lot of messages being transmitted the last few days by the Russian buzzer. So the Pentagon is going to be deploying the USS Gerald Ford aircraft carrier and the aircraft carrier Strike Group 12 to Israel. Okay, and so this strike group includes the Ticonderoga class USS Normandy, the Arleigh Burke class destroyers USS Ramage and USS McFall, and the USS Thomas Hudner. Okay, so the Arleigh Burke class destroyers actually carry Tomahawk missiles, and the carrier strike group has all kinds of capabilities: fighter jets, attack helicopters, attack subs. It's just the firepower is insane. So they're positioning the aircraft carrier strike group to support Israel in their counterattack against Hamas and Hezbollah. So it looks like the U.S. is going to get involved in this war, guys. Okay, it looks like the U.S. is going to help Israel carry out strikes on Hamas and Hezbollah, potentially Syria and Iran. What I'm really concerned about is this war spreading to like Iran and Syria, especially Iran, because Iran might have nuclear weapons and they certainly have a massive army and ballistic missiles. But this could spread to Iran. The U.S. could launch a massive strike on Iran to denuclearize them. Israel would be involved as well, but Israel doesn't have the long-range bomber capability like the U.S. does. So it would have to be the U.S. To do that massive strike on Iran to denuclearize them. And I think that's coming. I think this war is going to cause the U.S. and Israel to launch a massive strike on Iran. So we do have an official statement coming from Hamas. Hamas is saying that the transfer of an American aircraft carrier does not scare us, and the U.S. administration must be aware of the consequences of this step. And so right after Hamas released that statement, some information came out that pro-Iranian militias in Iraq are now threatening to attack all U.S. military installations in Iraq if the U.S. supports Israel militarily. Okay, so this is crazy, guys. Okay, this is an all-out war that's breaking out. Okay, pro-Iranian militias in Iraq planning to attack all U.S. military installations if the U.S. gets involved in the war, if they support Israel militarily, which they're going to have to, because Israel is getting attacked from all sides. They're getting attacked from Lebanon, from Gaza, and from Jordan. They're getting attacked from multiple directions, okay? So the U.S. is going to have to get involved. And then if these pro-Iranian militias attack U.S. bases in Iraq, guess what the U.S. is going to have to do? The U.S. is going to have to attack Iran to neutralize that threat. Okay, so this is how the escalation happens, guys. This is why you need to be prepared. And I've been telling you guys for months and years to get prepared that things were escalating. As soon as Russia invaded Ukraine, the gates of hell basically opened, and all these evil countries around the world saw that, Russia could invade another country and get away with it. So now they feel like they can do the same thing, whether it's Hamas, whether it's Iran, whether it's China, whether it's North Korea. Okay, all these countries took an example from Russia. Okay, they saw that Russia could literally invade another country, destroy the other country's cities, destroy their land, attack civilians and get away with it with no Western response, okay, other than sending some equipment, which has been barely enough for Ukraine to really just basically make some small gains and hold the line as it is. Okay, so, we're living in the end times, guys, and things are just going to get worse and worse. So make sure you're prepared physically, mentally, and spiritually. Make sure you have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Make sure you're physically prepared. Have a nuclear war survival plan. Make sure you have a bug out plan. If you live in a big city or you live near a big city, you're going to want to bug out, okay, because bugging in close to a big city or in a big city is going to be very difficult. There's going to be millions of people that are going to be hungry and desperate, and ordinary people are going to turn into savages, okay, when they don't have food and they don't have water, and their kids don't have food and their kids don't have water. They're going to become very dangerous, okay? So you're going to want to get out of the city before everybody else. Now's the time to do that, okay, before a total nuclear war and World War III break out. But we're basically right on the verge, guys. We're right on the verge of nuclear war. Tensions are the highest now than they've ever been before between the nuclear powers, okay? And what if China now decides to attack Taiwan because of all the chaos in the Middle East, in Europe? Now would be the perfect time for China to attack Taiwan and for North Korea to attack South Korea. Okay, it's just like a domino effect. It's like a chain reaction. Okay, as soon as Russia invaded Ukraine, all the gates of hell just opened up. Okay, we do have some breaking news that a UN Security Council meeting is going to be held in just about an hour at 1500 Eastern Time. Okay, an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council. We have some breaking news that the U.S. Army will begin a massive evacuation of U.S. citizens from Israel. Okay, so the U.S. Army will begin a massive evacuation of U.S. citizens in Israel. And speaking of U.S. citizens, there's a lot of foreigners in Israel, a lot of Westerners, okay? And we've already heard that Hamas has taken several Westerners hostage, okay? British citizens, French, various types of Western citizens, okay, in Israel have been either killed or taken hostage. So the West has to get involved now, okay, especially if pro-Iranian militias start attacking U.S. military bases in Iraq, which is what they're going to do. Okay, that's what's going to happen, guys. I'm going to predict what's going to happen the next few days right now. Okay, what's going to happen is the U.S. is going to have to get involved. NATO is going to have to get involved because Westerners are getting killed. Westerners are getting taken hostage. They're going to have to get involved. Then the pro-Iranian militias are going to attack U.S. military bases. Okay, and then the U.S. is going to have to respond from there. What they do, we don't know, but they could go after Iran directly. If you guys remember a few months ago, all those B-52s that flew to the Middle East, there were like half a dozen B-52s that suddenly flew to the Middle East, and everybody saw them flying over Long Island. This is probably what it was for. Okay, they probably knew something was going to happen, and they were practicing. Okay, because each B-52 can carry like up to 20 air-launched cruise missiles that have nuclear warheads on them. So if they send like half a dozen B-52s to the Middle East, they can annihilate all of Iran's nuclear facilities and also a lot of their military bases. And so this could happen, guys. There could be a U.S. campaign against Iran. It could happen. Okay, this is spiraling out of control very, very quickly. It's a very, very serious situation. Okay, I cannot stress to you how serious this situation is. What you're looking at here is a video of Israeli Merkava tanks that have been moved to the northern part of Israel towards the border of Lebanon, because now we're hearing that Hezbollah is going to invade from Lebanon. Okay, so they're moving hundreds and hundreds of tanks. Look at this. This is insane. I think this war is bigger than the Yom Kippur War. I think this is the biggest war in Israel's history as a nation since they were formed as a nation. This is the biggest war in Israel's history, guys. Okay, let that sink in. All right, the media is not talking about it. They just want you to focus on football and Halloween and stuff like that, and get your mind off of it. Don't worry about it. Just stick to your routine and pay your taxes. But this is a very, very serious situation. Israel has invoked Article 40. Okay, Article 40 is an official declaration of war, and this is the first time since the Yom Kippur War that Israel has declared Article 40. Okay, so Israel is in a full state of war. They've declared war. Very serious situation. We're hearing that the Israeli Defense Forces have decided to recruit college students and faculty members. So even college students are being recruited. Okay, that's how serious this situation is. Usually, if you're in college, you don't go to war in any country. But they're now recruiting college students and faculty members because of the official state of war. Okay, Defense Minister Gallant said that Israel will take measures against Gaza like never before, and the rules of war have changed. And there's a lot of footage, by the way, I cannot show you guys. Okay, there's a lot of footage I can't show you that I wish I could show you, but I can't, of just Gaza completely being leveled, at this hour. Gaza just has been annihilated the last few hours by Israeli airstrikes. I mean, the video I've seen, it's like the whole area, all the buildings are on fire. I cannot show you that though, but Israel has been pounding Gaza with airstrikes, but they are having difficulty on the ground getting into Gaza because there's a lot of hostages. Okay, Hamas has taken hundreds and hundreds of hostages, Israeli citizens, Western citizens. Okay, so they can't just go in because they're afraid that the hostages will be executed. Here we have a video of Israelis at an airport trying to get out of Israel. Okay, look at all these people here, guys. This reminds me of the beginning days of the war in Ukraine when Russia invaded Ukraine. This is very similar. All right. Very strong words, though, coming from the defense minister of Israel, saying that measures taken against Gaza will be like never before, and the rules of war have changed. We will launch such an attack on Gaza that it will set an example for future generations. That's what the Israeli Ministry of Defense said. According to an Israeli official, there was a serious intelligence failure, and estimates indicate that the war will extend for weeks. Okay, so this war is going to go on for weeks. I personally think it's going to be more than weeks. I think it's going to be months. Okay, and I think the U.S. is going to get involved. I think they're going to have to attack Iran. Here we have a video of Israelis clearing out the shelves of grocery stores. Okay, they're panic buying. This is very reminiscent of what would happen here if there was a nuclear war, if there was an SHTF situation. This is exactly what would happen. Okay, but this is the situation in Israel right now. It's very, very serious, guys. Okay, Hezbollah has officially announced that it's joining forces with Hamas. Okay, so Hezbollah officially announced that they're going to be entering the war. The Israeli army has asked residents of settlements within 10 kilometers of the Lebanon border to begin evacuating their homes. Hezbollah has apparently deployed 100,000 rockets to their border with Israel. The Israeli army has begun moving hundreds of tanks to the Pylon area near the Lebanese and Syrian border. And that was that video I just showed you of all these tanks. Okay, hundreds of tanks going towards Lebanon, guys. Hundreds. Okay, that's the scale of this war. This is not some limited operation here. This is a full-scale war. This is the biggest war in Israel's history, guys. Let that sink in. Bigger than the Yom Kippur War. All right, and what's interesting is that this war started on the 50-year anniversary of the Yom Kippur War. Okay, so now we know why it started yesterday. I thought it was because it was Putin's birthday and they were trying to give Putin some kind of a sick present for his birthday, but it's turns out it's the 50-year anniversary of the start of the Yom Kippur War. Here we have a video of Iranian politicians shouting death to America and death to Israel. Let me just turn the audio on so you can hear. All right, so it's not looking too good, guys. Okay, last night we had a Bulgarian government plane and a U.S. State Department plane fly to Israel. My guess is to evacuate VIPs. And like I said, the U.S. Army is currently conducting an evacuation of U.S. citizens from Israel. Okay, here we have a video showing a massive line of Israelis lining up to give blood. Okay, because it's a war and soldiers are going to need blood, so they're lining up to donate blood. It's really cool to see how the Israeli people come together in this situation. It's really amazing how united everybody is in Israel and how they're all coming together. Here we have some pictures I want to share with you of the Israeli heavy artillery being moved towards the border of Lebanon. Okay, so these are M109 howitzers. These are actually U.S.-made howitzers. Here's another picture of some of those Merkava tanks piling up near the border of Lebanon. It looks like Israel's going to go into Lebanon. That's what it looks like to me. They're going to just go right in. And then here we have another video coming from Israel close to the border with Lebanon. You can see these M109s, howitzers moving towards Lebanon. So it's a very serious situation, guys. Okay, here's another video of Israeli tanks being moved towards Lebanon. You can see they have these war markings. They have like a V on them. Okay, so Israel is gearing up, guys. This is a full-scale war. Um, we also have some breaking news that Hezbollah launched a strike on an Israeli base last night, and they took out a long-range radar installation at Sheba Farms. That's the name of the area, and it's close to Lebanon and Syria. So Hezbollah has already launched attacks on Israel. Okay, they launched a rocket or some kind of projectile, I don't know what it was, at this long range radar complex in Israel. So they took out the radar in Israel. So Israel doesn't have radar coverage in the northern part of their country now. Okay. Um, and apparently the Israeli army returned fire on Hezbollah after that incident. Um, Let me see here. I'm just going through the list of news that I have. It's just so much news, guys. I'm sorry this is not the most polished video that I've ever made. Here's another video showing Israeli forces mobilizing massive amounts of tanks and Humvees and armored personnel carriers. Russia is calling for an immediate ceasefire and a peace plan based on the establishment of an independent Palestinian state within the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. Okay, that's what the Russian Foreign Affairs Ministry said. So the Russian Foreign Ministry is basically siding with Palestine. Okay, they're against Israel. They're calling for a peace plan on the establishment of an independent Palestinian state within the 1967 borders. Okay, that's pre-Yom Kippur War. So basically, they're saying Israel should give up some of their land and allow Palestine to be its own country. So they're not supporting Israel, guys. And this is how we know that Russia in the end times is Magog, okay? So we're seeing the stage being set for this biblical invasion of Israel led by Russia at some point in the future. Okay, Russia is siding with the Palestinians, not Israel. Okay, so we also have some breaking news that the Russian hacker group Killnet has already started a massive cyber attack against Israeli websites. And we also have a spokesman for the Hamas saying that we thank the Islamic Republic of Iran, who provided us with weapons, money, and other equipment. He gave us missiles to destroy Zionist fortresses and helped us with standard anti-tank missiles. Okay, so Hamas officially giving credit to Iran for supplying weapons, and that's another reason why I think the U.S. is going to have to get involved, and they're going to have to attack Iran. Okay, because Iran is supporting all these groups. Okay, apparently one of the Hamas leaders, Ayman Yunus, was killed in an Israeli airstrike on his compound, and apparently his body was found, and it is 100% confirmed that he was killed in this airstrike. And so we're hearing that the Israeli military has conducted 500 airstrikes already in the Gaza Strip. Guys, this is just absolutely insane. We're also hearing that U.S. weapons left behind in Afghanistan were used to attack Israel, a high-ranking Israeli Defense Forces commander said. Okay, so a high-ranking IDF commander saying that U.S. weapons left behind in Afghanistan were used to attack Israel. Okay, Israel has requested more military assistance from the U.S., so, this is just spiraling out of control. Poland has decided to send several C-130 Hercules transport aircraft to help Israel evacuate their citizens. This was stated by the Minister of Defense of Poland. Okay, so Poland sending C-130s to evacuate Israelis. We also have some concerning information coming out from the Baltics. Apparently, an undersea gas pipeline linking Finland to Estonia has been shut down due to a suspected leak. Okay, and I'm just wondering if Russia is not behind that leak. Okay, so this is the latest information that I have, guys. I'll keep you updated. I'm sorry to pile all this negative news on you on a Sunday, but I have to update you on what's going on. All right, so I will be doing more updates the rest of today. So stay tuned to my channel. I'll definitely be doing another update this evening. I might go live possibly later on tonight. We'll see. I have a few things I have to do today. But other than that, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.